In August, Kath's sister was dancing in Disneyland Paris, so her family and I had several days to enjoy the parks. This was my first time at Disneyland Paris after previously visiting both Disney World in Florida and the original Disneyland California. So whilst experiencing it all, I decided to share my first impressions of Europe's Disneyland and how it compares to its American counterparts. First time in Disney Paris.
Very excited.
It's Louise, Charlotte's boyfriend, first ever ride at Disney Park.
Hello.
We just went to see the Mickey and the Magician's show, which was a nice combination of different characters and other shows like Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. However, technical hitch closed early, which happened to us in Disneyland California, so I'm obviously very unlucky.
To the real world.
We're now walking back to our hotel to check into our room because we haven't actually checked in yet. And it's so hot today and really, really busy. Other than that, I do quite like Paris, Disneyland. I actually think the main street and the design of the park is probably one of my favourites out of Florida, California and Paris. But it could do with a few less people today in particular. So we went back to our room, had a shower and freshened up. Now we come back to the park and it's so much cooler and quieter and it's a lot nicer now. Unfortunately, the lull in visitors didn't last all evening, and by the end of the day, Main Street was crammed full ready for the fireworks. This is obviously normal for Disney fireworks, as it is the main event in the park, yet here it felt hard to enjoy. Kath is only 5 foot, but even I couldn't see a thing past all the parents jostling for a view with their children on their shoulders. I'm not sure if it was the organisation or just the format of the show, but this never seemed to be a problem in America. In California, for instance, there is projection mapping along the entire Main Street buildings and more interactive elements to make the final show a far more inclusive experience for everyone. Here, if you can't find a direct view of the castle, you will struggle to feel included at all. Which is a shame, seeing as on the complete flip side of this, the afternoon parade earlier in the day was one of the most enjoyable I'd experienced at any Disney. Day 2 of Disneyland, and today it's on and off rain all day, but it's actually a bit nicer because the park is about half as full, so it's a lot quieter. We've already managed to go on 4 big rides this morning. It's only 11 o'clock, which is probably the same amount we actually managed the whole of yesterday.
We're now going to do the main reason why we're here in Disneyland, which is to go and watch Kath's little sister Harriet do a dance performance. Well done, Harriet.
I'm famous. I could see you filming. You stood up there.
We just rode Space Mountain for the second time, or I should call it Hyperspace Mountain now. And it is an awesome ride. It's great fun, but it's a shame that they've kind of updated it with the Star Wars branding, because you can still see the old theme underneath, the kind of steampunky Columbus Cannon design, and that looks a lot nicer. And now they're kind of plastered over Star Wars design and posters and just put projection mapping inside, which isn't quite as cool a theming. It doesn't seem like they've done it properly.
That's the best thing.
So after Harriet's dance performance earlier, we managed to fit in a load more rides before it started to really hammer it down and got really wet. Our feet, shoes got soaked. So then we just went for an early dinner at the Rainforest Cafe in the Disney Village, which was good. Particularly the volcano ice cream dessert thing. I probably could have had one of those to myself maybe, but we shared one amongst the whole group, unfortunately. And then we came back to the hotel room, had a quick nap, and
Jamie took a nap. I did not take a nap.
I took a nap. And now we're going to chill out here for the rest of the evening. We've got some wine, and our friends Hattie and Seb are going to pop over in a sec. Just because we've only had about 3 or 4 hours sleep each night this week, so we're pretty knackered.
Hey.
Whilst chatting to Hattie and Seb, they agreed with what we had experienced so far. A fantastic park brought down by overcrowding and rides continuously breaking down whilst they were in the queue. They even met an American couple that had visited every Disney park in the world who attested to Paris having some of the best rides but being the least organised and efficient of them all. Our third and final day gave us some of the best and worst examples of this.
Good morning, it's the third and final day of Disneyland Paris. This morning we got up early and used our early magic hours to get into the park early. Wow. Because we got into the park early, the first thing we'd done was to go and queue up for Crusher's Coaster, a new ride in Paris, which none of us, have you been on it? None of us have been on. That was really good fun. It kind of started off gentler and then went a bit crazy. It opened up into a bigger room, and a bit like Space Mountain, it's all indoors, but the cart you were in span around. Actually probably one of my favourite rides here. We're now going to head to the Lion King show in the Disneyland Park, which is one of Kath's family's favourite shows in Florida. So we'll see how it compares here. Got out of the Lion King show, and wow, that was really, really good. It was completely different to the one in Florida. It was more focused on the performers, their singing, their dancing, the acrobatics, and each song had something unique and something really impressive to show off. So yeah, it was a long wait to get in, but it was well worth it. It was definitely one of the best things we've seen here or done here. So if you're here, I would definitely recommend going to see the Lion King show. Just went on Big Thunder Mountain for the second time, which was really great fun. Actually probably one of our favourite rides here again. And I actually think it's better than the Big Thunder Mountain in Florida. It seems more spaced out, a longer ride. It just has kind of better turns and drops in it. So yeah, definitely recommend that one. That's one of our favourites. So we just waited 45 minutes for food. So it's another very busy day in Disneyland. It's so busy today. Kath just waited 15 minutes to go to the toilet or it was flooded.
Space Mountain 55 minutes. Buzz Lightyear 60 minutes. Star Wars 30 minutes. 65 minutes for Indiana Jones. What is that? Peter Pan's Flight 70 minutes. Dumbo 75 minutes.
75 minutes for Dumbo.
Meet
Oh my
Mickey
God.
Mouse 75 minutes. Teacups 30 minutes.
Toilets 20
Toilets,
minutes.
27 minutes.
Getting any food?
An hour.
An hour.
As you can tell, we were quite astonished at how ridiculously busy it was. Now, don't get me wrong, we fully expected there to be long queues at Disney. But when the wait extends over an hour in boiling heat for even the smallest rides, fast food, or flooded toilets, that's when it starts to negatively impact your experience. And that sadly was one of the defining aspects of Paris, overcrowding and a lack of organisation to handle it. Which is a real shame because, as I mentioned, I found Disneyland Paris to be one of the nicest designed parks with particularly good shows, parades and rides. Highlights like Crush's Coaster, Big Thunder Mountain and the Lion King show stand out, plus small additions like the side alleys adjacent to Main Street, lovely landscaping and unique takes on theming made it a joy to explore when less busy. It seems like Disney could implement small changes or technology which would allow visitors to properly enjoy those highlights and vastly improve the whole experience. Some of them they already use in other parks, such as digital ticketing to speed up entry, purchases and fast passes. But they could even take this further. They already have a park app, so why not allow you to order food on it and pick it up when it's ready instead of cramming hundreds of people into small food outlets waiting for an hour just to order some fries. There was a simple game you could play on your mobile browser whilst waiting for Crush's Coaster. Why not extend this to other rides to make the queues more enjoyable, or at least theme them consistently and make sure they don't break down once you reach the front of the queue. Maybe even, heaven forbid, sell less tickets. However, I can't see that happening anytime soon. In the meantime, during peak season, I'm sad to say Disneyland Paris has lost a little bit of its magic. It is still a wonderful experience with some awesome rides and a big step above other theme parks. Just maybe look at visiting outside of summer if you can to properly make the most of it.
We're in Disneyland! We're in Disneyland! We're in Disneyland!
Louis, where are we?
Disneyland.
Seb, where are we?
Disneyland Paris.
Where are we?
Disneyland!
Charlotte, where are we?
We're in Disneyland!
Again.
Charlotte, where are we?
I'm not doing it again, Jamie.
We're in Disneyland!